Masechet Sanhedrin Daf Ayin Aleph Amud Aleph 11 lines down by the Mishnah. The Torah says that the Ben Surah More, in order to be a chayav, he has to have stolen resources from his parents, so and then eat it elsewhere. So what's going on? There's certain prerequisites. Ganav Mishal Aviv v'achal b'shut aviv. He stole from his father and ate in his father's property. Mishal Acharim v'achal b'shut acharim, or if he stole from other people and ate it in their property. Mishal Acharim v'achal b'shut aviv. He stole from others and ate it in his father's property. Enu nasem misrei. Although those not is not counting as making him ben sorim. Well, ad sheyichnov Mishal Aviv v'achal b'shut acharim, until he steals from his father and eats it in his other people's property. That's the easiest way for him to do it. Rabbi Yosef ben Omer. Ad sheyichnov Mishal Aviv u'Mishal imo. He steals from both of his parents. He's learned that from a pasuk. The Gemara says, "Ganem shel aviv v'achal b'shut aviv." If he's stealing and eating it from in his father's property, it's not good enough because he's scared of his father seeing him. Therefore, he won't continue. He won't become ben sorer mureh. He stole and ate in other people's property. Also not good. Since even though he's not afraid of his father over there because it's not there, but it's not going to be common from not going to be able to be so easily able to do that and get away with it. For sure, if he stole from others and ate in his father's property, definitely not. He's scared of his father and is not able to do it. Therefore, actually, he's able to steal from his father and eating it elsewhere. He's not scared of getting caught, and he'll be able to do it. He'll be able to get that money. Okay. Next part of the Gemara. Rabbi Yosef ben Rabbi Damer. Actually, no, he says he has to steal from both parents. The Gemara says, "Imom menala, masha kanta isha kanta ba'ala." What do you mean steal from his mother? How do you steal from your mother? Whatever your mother owns, your father owns. The Gemara says, "Amar Rabbi Yosef ben Rabbi Hanina miseudah mechunet hamuchenet la'aviv umo." He stole meat and wine from the meal that his parents were eating. The Gemara says, "Amar Rabbi Hanan bar Amar Rabbi Yehuna eno chayav sheyikneh basar b'zov yochal yain b'zov yishteh." You have to buy the wine and meat in order to be a chayav. The Gemara says, "Ela imma maybe he stole money from the funds set aside for her parents' meal." That's stealing from both. Different answer, but or if let's say the mother got a special gift from someone who gave it to her on condition the husband doesn't acquire it, that is eligible to be stolen from his mother. Okay, no Mishnah. Only one parent wanted to make him ben sumarin, the other one did not. He can't become ben sumarin unless they both want it. Rabbi Dan says, his mother was not allowed to marry his father. Also cannot become ben sumarin. Like where it says, what does it mean you're not eligible to marry? If you want to tell me that they weren't allowed to get married because they were like a relative, a close relative, but bottom line, that's his father, that's his mother. So how come it's not good enough? Mar says, rather he says that they have to be similar to each other physically. Also says, if his parents were not similar enough, they have to be looking alike in appearance, same voice, and same height. Otherwise, they can't become mitzvah. The Gemara says, why? The pasuk says that the parents say he doesn't listen to our voice. They have to be comparable in voice, appearance, and height. And therefore, Kiman Azah is this reflected in the following Brayta. The event can never happen and there never will be. Because it's such hard prerequisites, like especially according to Buddha. Like Gemara says, how come we wrote it? To get to learn the halachot, that gives you a reward. Learning gives you a reward by itself, not necessarily doing it. That's why people don't do daf yomi. I don't understand it. I don't remember it. Doesn't count. You're learning. You learn. You get sachar. You get reward. Kiman, whose birthday goes according to Rabbi Sira held that it's physically impossible to have this concept of the parents being identical. Even with different answer, and he says, we said, how does it make sense that the parents kill him because he's eating meat and wine? Mar says, Ella must be he says the reason why you can't have it is not because of the prerequisites, but rather a parent won't let his child get killed just because he's eating wine and drinking meat. Eating meat and drinking wine. Tired. So how can we have it? To learn it and get reward. Says, however, I did see a Ben Surah More and I sat on his grave. There's never Aaron Dachat and it never will be. لما نختار was written terrific, it was hard to learn it and get reward. كمان هم going to get كل شيء يشبه عقل المزاح حتى إن أصلا إرداخت any town that has one مزاح cannot become إرداخت, and therefore it's impossible to find a city next to without one مزاح. Therefore it will never happen. The Gemara says كمان time why? Because the Markravit كل شلهاتك بس تذكر حبها بس العفتبة إيش to burn the entire town. كده يقول إيه كم مزال بشار كيف تعصون كين لا شمك وخيم, since we know that you cannot burn مزاح. Therefore, you can't have Aaron Dahat. The Gemara says, Amar B'Yonatan, I need to eat Kitila. I did see a Aaron Dahat, and I sat on the pile of rubble. Now, the problem with this young Rabbi Yonatan sitting on the kever of Ben Sor Moreh is that he's a Kohen. The Farshim talk about it. Okay. Lo haya v'lo atid liot. A house with a house with tzaraat on it. The house has Siratanad, we destroyed the whole halachot. It says lo tiliot lo hayav lo tiliot never happened. Why? The Menachot it was written just to give us reward. The Kiman who's according to who makes a prerequisite so hard that you cannot make a case of Sirat on a house to destroy it. He says as follows: Tan it will not be considered tameh for Sirat unless there will be the size of two grease, certain measurement on two stones, on two the two walls that meet at the corner. Has to be the exact measurements of two grease wide by one grease long. Now, the Gemara says, "My time Hakmi holds up. Ktiv kir kir ktiv ktiv kir uktiv kirot." The pasuk mentions wall and walls. Ezu kir shikrot. What type of wall has two walls? Hagamer Zekarim is referring to the corner, and therefore he says, since it's such a hard prerequisite, such a hard requirement to have that type of uh, in order to have that type of measurements of Sirat, therefore it's never going to happen. The verse says, however, it says, there was a place in Gaza, they called it the house of Sirat, and therefore he witnessed that he saw a house of Sirat. Inshallah, the entire Gaza burns right now. I saw them marking a sign, they were marking a sign in a house. They removed Sirat stones there, which shows that Rabbi Mizdok and Rabbi Shimon say that there was some houses, at least one, with Sirat. Okay. If a parent, one of the parents was either missing a hand, couldn't walk, mute, blind or deaf, you can't become Ben Zimmer. Why? Shemar Pasuk says, "V'tafsu bo avivimon." Parents have to grab him. But look at me, therefore they can't be missing a hand. They have to take him out. They have to be able to walk and they can't be lame. They can't be without the ability to walk. The Amrun, they shall say, they can't be mute. Benenuzeh, they say, this Aaron, this son. The Losumin, they can't be blind because they have to be able to tell which one it is. And listen to our voice. They can't be deaf. Matrin Boba Malkinoto, the first time he does it, they bring him Betin of 3, and Betin gives him Malkut. Hazar does it again. They judge him within 23 judges. They don't escalate Yusham. They can't stone him unless 3 out of those 23 judges were the first ones who whipped him. As I say, this son, this is the son that brought you before that you whipped. Okay, Shami we see from here, we need a pasuk to fulfill the halacha exactly what we did. We had mentioned earlier, a little bit less than a month ago, regarding this. We have to follow the pasuk exactly. Is the procedure has to be done exactly how the Torah says or not? Some big machloket over there, and seemingly over here by the fact that we learn this pasuk of the parents' physical attributes, it must be that we do have to follow it. The Gemara says, "Shani not a good proof," because maybe over here, the kulakai today, the whole pasuk over here mentioning the parents bringing the kid, saying this son. The whole thing is very extra, and therefore, since that whole pasuk is superfluous as extra, we don't need that pasuk. Therefore, since we could have lived without it, therefore this teaches us these halachot, but not necessarily a proof that we have that concept that the pasuk has to be done exact. Okay, Umatrin potentially they warn him before 3 judges. Amali, why do you need 3 witnesses? Betres, I need 2 boys, two to convict him. I say no. He has 2 witnesses that are one. Malkinu to Betres, he gets whipped before judges to the 3. Malkut depends on when gets Malkut. Pasuk of Vayisru, bin, the same words of Ben and Bin. We see that you whip a person with the same wording, and therefore was there Shiva from that and a person who defames someone else. Okay. Hazavak again, did this again. You kill him with 23 judges, and the 3 original have to be there. My Zev Losmin. What do you mean? We said that in the Mishnah that the word zeh teaches you that it has to be the same judge as before, but we already said that zeh teaches you the parents can't be blind. Gemara says, "Imken lichtov benenu hu." The pasuk could have said this son. Ma benenu zeh. Why did it say with this? Yani his son. Like, I mean this instead of who it was there. Shaman Tata. Therefore, we learns both limudim. Nu Mishnah barach ad shelo nigmar dino ve'achar kach hekif zakanaton ve'im nishmar dino barach ve'achar kach hekif zakanaton hayav. Sorry, patur, and then after. Okay, if a boy ran away before he was convicted that he was guilty, and then his lower pubic hair grew, beard, he's patur. However, if he ran away after the verdict was given, even if the hair grew afterward, he's still chayav. A Noah ben Noah, a guy who curses God and then converts to Judaism, he's patur. Since his halachot changed, therefore his judgment changed, and therefore he doesn't get killed anymore. Name I'm say that we bring proof. My time should I bring proof? Our case as well, when you have a verdict and afterward his if there was no verdict yet and he ran away and then his hair grew, he patur. Same thing. The verse is not a group of law. The reason why he's patur is because if he would do it now after he has that pubic hair, technically, he wouldn't be able to get killed. Therefore, we can't convict him anymore. The verse says, 1 second, if there was already verdict was given, he's chayav. So we see that changing him doesn't change your status of execution. He's still executed. The verse says, no. Bring a proof where he already got convicted. If he's convicted, he's a dead man walking. And therefore, since he's a dead man walking, you can kill him even if he ran away, if his hair grew afterward. Meaning the only time he patur is if there was no verdict, he ran away, then the hair grew. If he already got convicted, then he ran away, he's a dead man walking. Whenever they get him, they kill him. Ben Noach hit his friend, he killed his friend, and then he had adultery with another Ben Noach, then he converts, patur. Asad ben Ken, they said the same with the Jew, he had killed a Jew or he had adultery with a Jewish woman, and then he converted Judaism, he's still chayav. Maybe because he changed through his conversion, he also should get changed halacha. Right says no. We need a change of his halachot of trial and execution. The high, in this case of the conversion, Dino Ishine, his halachot changed, Mitul Ishine, but they're same execution of strangulation. So therefore, since it's the same halacha of strangulation, henek, whether he's a get or not, he still gets it. Okay, the Gemara says 1 second. It makes sense if he murdered someone, then he converted me. He was supposed to get beheading. He still gets beheading. Regarding adultery, but with adultery, however, they automatically get beheading. But when he gets converted, adultery punishment for a Jew is strangulation. That's different punishment. So the Gemara says no. Ben Aram says to a case where he was with a Aram, so whether it's a Noah, Ben Noach or a Jew, it's both sekila. Our Mishnah said that it has to be the equivalent of doing it to the Jew. He's referring to the comparison of regular wife, like the wife of a fellow Ben Noach. And therefore, there's no such thing as a Nera Murza by Ben Noach. Where it says, Ella, if it's a lenient punishment, it does transfer over. So therefore, if he's chayav for beheading for adultery, then he becomes Jewish and he's chayav henek instead of strangulation. Since it's lower punishment, it carries over. The Gemara says, say that beheading is more hamor, and therefore it carries over to the lower punishment of strangulation. But according to Bishmon, it says henek is more hamor. How can you go technically up to? How can you technically go down? How can you go up to henek from beheading? The Gemara says, he holds the following brayta that says argues against the previous brayta that mentioned that the only punishment is beheading. He says no, Ben Noach only gets henek, and therefore henek to henek transfers. By adultery, according to him, he holds this henek. And then regarding murder, by Ben Noach, the whole thing's now inverted because now we say that it's according to this opinion that the standard is henek for Ben Noach. So therefore, a murderer gets henek strangulation by Ben Noach, but when he converts, he gets beheading. That would technically be an upgrade. Where it says, sorry, that would technically be a different mitah. Where it says no, he holds it's more lenient, and a more lenient punishment gets transferred. Let me say that the proof. In a case of an Rasav, the engaged Nara who had adultery. Let's say she committed adultery and then she became Bogeret. She gets strangulation. like a regular boger, like a regular woman. The Gemara says, let's bring a proof. The Gemara says, "Biskila ma'atamalo." Why can't you give sikila? Because la mishum the whole nation must be because she wants to change. She changed. Gemara says, "V'chol sheken hachad yishnei l'gamar." Regarding our in the case regarding Ben Noach was a bigger conversion regarding a death penalty. The Gemara says, no, Rabbi Hanan argued and said, no, she actually gets sekila even though she became a bugeret, even though she got older, because when she sinned, she was chayav sekila. Okay, no Mishnah. Ben Soreh Moreh nidom al shum safo. A Ben Soreh Moreh is chayav mitah, not because he did anything wrong now, but because he's judged because he will become evil. Yamud zakav emut hayav, let him die while he's innocent before he dies because he's guilty of a bigger problem. Death of evil people is good for them and good for the world. Death for a tzaddik is bad for them and bad for the world. Wine and sleep for the evil people. And Allahim is good for them and good for the world. Let them be drunk. But tzaddikim is bad for them, bad for the world. We need them to be out and about. Pizul Hashem, spreading out of the wicked people. And Allahim is good for them and good for the world. Less problems. But tzaddikim, they're not next to each other. It's bad for them, bad for the world. Kinus l'shem, gathering of the wicked people. Bad for the people, bad for them, bad for the world, obviously. But tzaddikim is good. Shekel l'shem, quiet for the evil people. Bad for them, bad for the world, because they'll cause more problems. But tzaddikim, it's good for them and good for the world. And the says, why are we killing this boy who's young boy for eating meat and drinking wine? The Torah is foreseeing what will happen. The Torah is looking towards the future. What's going to happen? He's going to completely go through all his father's property and possessions while stealing, and therefore, he'll want to continue eating out everything, piece of meat and drinking wine, but he won't be able to do it. Therefore, he'll go out to the roads and start robbing people and killing people who fight. Let him die with innocent, don't die guilty. Because beneficial for the world to have the death of the wicked people, and that's the key. It's good. Bad for them, bad for the world. The rest as well, same thing as Mishnah. Sleep and wine for the bad people, and bad for them, bad for the world. Good for the world, good for the world, good for them, good for the world. But for the tzaddikim, it's bad for them, bad for the world. Shekel Hashem, quiet for the evil people, that's the tzaddikim, bad for the tzaddikim, bad for the goyim, good for the tzaddikim. Pizul Hashem, spreading out for the evil people, bad, good for them and good for the world. But tzaddikim, spreading out of the tzaddikim is bad for them and bad for the world.